Sio Uda Bonsansio Uda Tademo Uda Benchisio Usi Abonsan Yena Adiasieno
Baby obiada ye bia ye nyina ade achen abusuan ene nso yesen hwebiem e wo hanmo a enkomo e wo ho wei enye nkomo a eda form ana nkomo eye ahogono so meeting koso e wo Ghana meeting is underway. John Dramani Mahama omampani John Dramani Mahama ebetena konwa so no first major meeting eye chaired by Owura Julius Debra our chief of staff no eye nkomo a ehu hia abusuafo asemu a esie ene de ye tisesi yi ene se Dumsor is looming. The year tis ye in says empening for anye bibi animu ye a Dumsor ABC. Way young coma edi kind cry no enra ye omampani John Dramani Mahama yes when in ena nipa transition committee where head of subcommittee on energy Owura John Jinapo ya wono ena bibie di adanse obey minister for energy no wodi kind beto dwa kire se energy any fuel MPP for Eddie Jawono, Wakase, Watana Hua, I hear 2 days cry and so Ghana, Ebedum, Amankeni and Wadum crack. Yeah, Chese, or shall say the Uncocobo, Ebayan and Crofosha say, hey, na and Wakase, we and the Numrena and Crofosha say, experience and can you dum, Ewa Ghana, and then Crofobisa said, day, and a air causeway. A day and a ACA. Na enu no ena ene day no about 4 hours ago. Crucial meeting ekoso. Who say meeting ekoso na chief of staff. Yeah, wo omainumu eti edwemu ana chese. Enibriaba asemu ebe nyina ne se omampani John Dramani Mahama wafre ni team of experts ena fei energy providers e wo Ghana nyina into a meeting ya meeting nyina no de wo dwendwen ho ni se kwan ben so ena yebefa yebetumi a strategize ya Dumsor emba abusuafo yedi kan abo mame mo video we enche wo na wu first timer Owura John Jinapo edi to dwa kire se in the next few days no say wanye bibia Dumsor ebeba Ghana no anu odin enu nti e wo sempeni for strategize wo bra na wo swear omampani John Dramani Mahama in no na yewi a ene meeting no memu ahunu de ekoso nyina na yenso yebeka ya adwen yebemu mu ahu se de ekono den na yenso adwen fa ho enu nti yedi kan mu ahwesa video we de kan hwe edin kan kra no eda edin kan Owura John Jinapo eka se fuel e wo mu entimi nso yen for 5 days kra.
Just today, the confirmation we are getting is that we have only 5 hours of fuel stock. If you look at heavy fuel oil and distillate fuel, we don't have up to 2 days. And so in 2 days' time, we are likely to run out of fuel. This administration has not ordered any fuel as we speak. And it takes on average 4 weeks for the fuel to arrive and 4 weeks for the fuel to be treated. And so we are in a very serious situation. At the transition, we brought this up. The outgoing administration assured us that they had procured some parcels of fuel. Today, right after President Mahama assumed office, and I served on the transition, my checks indicate that we do not have fuel that can cater for even 2 days. So clearly we have a major problem. And this is an incoming administration. Even if you order the fuel, like I'm telling you, it will take about 8 weeks. Just today.
Ebusuafo Owura John Jinapo penny awoye chairman edima subcommittee on energy ewo transition committee no mu no ene ete ne kan say no committee ya omampani John Dramani Mahama apaw se won entenance na won hwe energy ensensem no wono ene penny a woda no bibie di adanse say John Jinapo wono ena wobeye minister for energy na ebusuya meeting no akoso yebebo full meeting no kakra ama mo ahwe enkutahudie ya ekoso obra owura chief of staff Julius Debra betena say ma energy providers ni nyina eba ye no yebebo video no na mo ahu nanso de ye be pese ye kan ede to ho sesi yi ene say de Ghana for enim sesi yi ene say aban ya ebesin call na no wanje Dumsor wo free so no ewom se nanu bi wonu mo ne nkani adundum ni ade nanso wo free akonwa so no na nkani ya wo so ebetimi abasa asem owura jonjina Paul kan no no krese won kra fu obia emfa maye eni ade ebetimi aye no kre nanso de ye ka de to won se si yi no yato aba e de ama aban Ghana for ehunu problems a won mo enamu any ahochira Ghana for na mu any de no ofre no mismanagement ya ede ekom any ahochira ede aba Ghana for ama massive victory ena wode ama NDC President JJ Rawlings and so 54%. Minkai the last time a president be by ya wadi about 57%. Echire GD ya Ghana for war ewo aban John Dramani Mahama ni NDC amanyo komu. Adie ba ko also was sharing so ne say they are here to provide solutions. They are here to provide solutions. One way ya obedi echire ama aban ya ni ho ya hi ama ya pamama no kono. O pese obe nage sorry say me use the word nagging o chire mu ama hu say aban no aye so useless fu okra na wontumi nto na wontumi nkra fu okra de be run energy any ade na wontumi nyese wobeka ho nsem a wobeyesa niema no a ba won hwe a what will happen ni say the enkrofo beka ni say no otumi tofu no ntumi tofu no for 8 years obedi akonwa no ewom say there are days na nkeni enu dundum ba na nti say for 4 solid years of President John Dramani Mahama na mamu na ebesin koye no na nti saa Kenya dundumu antoa so 4 years sa ama de esi mrebi no omampani Akufo-Addo abreso no enye sa na esi enu nti wanhwe ye na o focus nyina koye se ai ye konokra omo konokra no omo enja fuela ye de ebeye politically no ebia na o shada ke kansa e de abokwan e de ato no mu se Dumsor ba enkrofo be hu se oh aban na ebesen koye no e na eye won fault but Ghana for no say see you know there is no Dumsor kania bi anumi kania no esi so enu nti ye de bibia hye won sa and in fact e wom se MPP amanyoko ama nkrofo ho akire wo man na kwa ho kire mu basika ya NDC ejama omampani Akufo-Addo di omampani Akufo-Addo di eja MPP NDC se see you know edoso sen di NDC di eja omampani Akufo-Addo eye fact reserves abanye koye edi eja abanye wo ha se see you know eye fact say edoso sen di NDC di eja you know bia ni pabonifo wom ebetimi di openini kan betimi no kre ebetimi NDC MPP for nim say oh ye fi aban mu akọ ya lusu aba enti yenye bibi man nkrofo no nkyire won enti fu akra nka wo seye order na ebeduru ntem na omutumi di adwuma no mo mayen order politics etumi ye bibi asa se ebe ye na mo beba na ebe on stabilize mo ebe mo ye unstable with energy ebetumi ha adwen aban bia ba honeymoon kakra wo ho de wu kan obi abeti ase o chena kani anu dumu a da ben na oba obi anim se 7th na oba o chena kani anu dumu a nobody is going to blame you obi abedwin se ebi aban na ekoye no na ye bibi ba se toa so abosumi miensa abosumi enum abosumi nsia kwa afi ko mfie mienu a obi eni wono mo obenya sa sympathy no de amawo enu nti se see you know your focus should be say wo fix ade no aba no nyame adom wo hu se energy na wo ho gas ni petrol any crude na wo ho no enso wa hebia what you do and say aban na de asha wonsa sika de ama wo no just be focused and make sure say oh nyasa eniema no ebema kani adundum no atu atwa abusuya ade ba ko a echichire omampani John Dramani Mahama kon ma the last election olusu ye yankrofo de bonidin Dumsor enu nti asantimemu a enka Dumsor de ye ka se ohini we eyenentam kese O boss kra senka ohini bi ntam kese wo boss waji se otwa dwan eno nti omampani John Dramani Mahama ene ne energy experts ne owura John Jinapon ne nkrofo nyina should know say ye ka Dumsor dia e omampani John Dramani Mahama ne ntam kese enti everything that they need to do to make sure say Dumsor ewo hono mo a wo betumi a stop say we mo na won kra ade no bi enya maye a me gidi politics the politicians wo betumi aye bibia say be ya wo betumi e de agu NDC aban ya eba no animu ase politicians betumi aye enu nti fibra olusu election no e de bedru sabre no wo betumi a hyede ayi nani a on da ade no kra na bedru ntem enu wo hono mo but the focus should be say wo na wa fixe enye say wo ma media for de me bebo video no de a kire osisi ya. I'm going to show you the video na afa ye nyina ya hwe meeting no de ekokọ so ne ade but me di kan aye editorial no a kire yan ya dwen wo Radio Ghana CA ha na what yase no wahu de ye pa kire some meeting no ekọ so meeting of experts no. I don't think said the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months some meeting of experts ECG anyway mu share ye be ma media for at the cameras ababe ginemu na media for ababe hwe enema ekoso. They've allowed media people inside that room because they just want to portray aban na abasin kono say aban no anya hwe. Because this is a very crucial meeting where ye BBA will take a very, very important decision to solve Dumsor, which you have to do. But ye nimse, ye the media for ni na begu dynamo, even the time where energy aspects no amu ye private and crofo. Ubehu mebo video no kire wa binum kraye abrofo send energy ni ade mo omu fi abrochi na aba omu di omu energy omu ye omu business but a warm money government na ye adwuma eye transparency ye public ehu niema eye bagana ya pass a right to information bill journalists be or person onya information bi can apply for it and get it but when it comes to these technicalities, I will say, we take a decision to solve it at the end. Then you invite all media houses in. Mumrana mumetie, say from the energy experts, no power generators, providers, and say, oh, MPP for kono wa maye energy odija yeno just ensuyen for just 2 hours cry, ensuyen for just 2 days. O startina o yes ana eno ena o de start here. And here. Ebe kakrano ebe bokwan to ama nkrofo hu say ebia you are just preparing a way say wa nkasa ubeye bibi it's good say u to ho anamo but kwan here say asomo astart ya fa so kire say ai aban no na say oye bibi aban na aban e besen koye no e na ase wa ye bibi edi Dumsor aba ade Ghana for ru enfi dan say o mampeni ekufo ado koi no Dumsor ni ho enu nti the next government abay John Dramani Mahama mamuyi wonye bibia to maintain it say eye sikani ade to a wonpe sika no de beto no makani ano enyina so na blame game no ano emrase overwhelming majority ene de ama won ye editorial ni afa ebusuam. This is a very important meeting and ekoso ewo office of the president John Dramani Mahama wonya move ko Jubilee House say national security afa and national security escane Jubilee House honyina national security den kramai any aspects ya kra won fie broche ni ade special cleaning any niema ekoso ewo Jubilee House so say yi obesa de ni nyina wie ama experts akodan no mum beye imprensa akos kani biem na fe what the report akoma chief of staff say afeidie ya confirm say ane bibia ye safe ubetumi aba eno bekoso ansana won mo amuvu e de akodan no mu eno nti we ya mekan no we ya special meeting na we ye enye Jubilee House no ye no mpanimfo ahia wo dwendwen energy no eho yentie ense de meeting no ekoso ye wi a ye besan aba na yehu eniema no a ekokọ okoso no ebi eno nti tie we na yen hwese de ene meeting no esikoso
800 meters per day. So 1 mile is around 25,000.
You're not going to use the brand. Less than 22 hours after the office. It tells you the enormity, the seriousness that it places as far as this sector is concerned. And to the best of my knowledge, I think this is the first meeting he's holding today. So let's take this very seriously. But let me just add that, please, whatever instructions we give here, whatever directives we give here, take them very seriously. And I mean take them very, very seriously. On the energy and natural resources. We did a lot of work on the energy sector. At our last meeting, it came to light that WAPCO was likely to shut down their pipeline for some maintenance. Originally, it was due to happen in October. The government requested that it should be shifted to January. The Tinubu government procurement. Right? But at that meeting, realized that we didn't have enough likelihood. We are contrary to government assurance. The stocks were not enough. There have been some back and forth, and it does appear that we have some challenges. So, RICO, which is the systems operator, will do a 5-minute or 10-minute presentation on the current state of the energy system, the WAPCO exercise, and the implications thereof. After that, the press can excuse us, and you will then give us some directives as to what you want to do. Thank you.
Just to be on the safer side, for me to recommend you those on this side, I know almost everyone, but from this side. So we hear someone from this side.
Even if the Kofi
in Ghana, they intend to carry out pigging on the pipeline. And pigging is drawing something like a cork that flashes the line, and then to conduct inspection and replacement of some subsea valves. So during the pigging period, gas uptake from the West African gas pipeline laterals in Togo, Benin, and at Tema will be shut down. This is to enable all the gas from the pipeline to be discharged in Takoradi. So because of that, all gas in the pipeline has to be received at Takoradi, and there will be no reverse flow from Takoradi to Tema. Under normal operations, we send some gas from Takoradi back to Tema, but that will be curtailed within that period. And then WAPCO projects that there will be about 80 to 90 million scarf of gas that will be received in Takoradi during the period of the pigging. There are some power plant outages for maintenance which had been scheduled within the period, Hong GS and then the TICO, but that one we are in discussion with them and they are going to be rescheduled outside the period of the maintenance. So now the impact of the pigging on gas supply. In Tema, typically 100 million scarf of gas is consumed in Tema off the lateral in Tema. The power plants are Sunana Sogles, Sempower, KTPP, TT1PP, AXA, and Bridge Power. But during the period of the pigging, because the lateral will be closed, there will be no gas consumption in Tema. Therefore, the shutdown of therefore power plants in Tema would have to be shut down, except those which can run on dual fuel, that's liquid fuel, and have liquid fuel to run. When we go to Takoradi, typically 335 million scarf of gas is consumed in Takoradi, actually between Takoradi and Kumasi, because there is a power plant in Kumasi. And the total domestic production of gas in Takoradi is 345. And so the capacity to consume gas in Takoradi is slightly less than the production. That's actually why sometimes we send some in reverse to Tema. And so because there will be no reverse flow, the 80 to 90 million scarf gas that will be coming from Takrady, that will be coming from Nigeria, will be excess gas that there will not be additional consumption for. And so what we need to do in order to be able to do the pigging will be to reduce the domestic production so that at all times supply of gas in Takrady will be matched with total consumption. We have had discussions with GNPC and Ghana Gas, and they have confirmed that the reduction is possible. So the further analysis was conducted to see the impact of the pigging on power supply. So we've looked at its impact on gas, and this is going to look at the impact on power supply. And the analysis has been carried out on 3 scenarios. So the first scenario is looking at in case there is no liquid fuel in Tema, because Tema plants will not get gas. And so if there is no gas, no liquid fuel in Tema, what the impact will be. And then scenario 2 is looking at having liquid fuels for thermal plants in Tema and what the impact will be. There is a third scenario that looks at the contingency of WAPCO delaying beyond the planned completion date. The current completion date is February 16th, but we are looking at a scenario where there will be a delay of up to 1 month, which means it will take us to March 16th. So the impact, we looked at the impact on the hydrology because there will be shortage in thermal capacity, we would have to rely a little more on the hydros. And so we got VRA to factor the period of the pigging for the February, and this is the trajectory that we gave, and it looks good. And then for Bui has 3 units. The first one will run 24 hours. The second one will run for 12 hours. And then the third one will run for 6 hours during the peak period. And with that, this is the projected trajectory for the half year. So the scenario 1 where we have no liquid fuels, we see that if there are no liquid fuels in Tema, first of all, because of the shutdown of thermal plants in Tema, there will be shortages of up to 1,100 megawatts, especially during the weekdays. Secondly to that, part of the stability requirements of the Ghana power system is that you need at all times to have a minimum of 650 megawatts in operation in Tema. If all the thermal plants in Tema are shut down, then we will be flouting that requirement, which means that the system will be very unstable. So the next scenario, scenario 2, we looked at getting liquid fuel for some of the dual-fired plants in Tema. So AXA has some units that can run on HFO, and they can do up to 330. SemPower is dual-fired, and they have actually been running on LCO, and they can do 360. Sunona Sogle, in this scenario, is running only 1 combined cycle on DFO, and then KTPP is also doing 200 on DFO. With this number of power plants running on liquid fuel, we are able to do away with any deficits and shortfalls. And the requirement for a minimum of 650 megawatts in Tema is also met. And so this is a desirable scenario. So the liquid fuel requirements in this scenario were computed based on information that we got from VRA. And so we computed and determined that the power plants will require these volumes of liquid fuel. And we computed the costs. This is just budgetary. Even though Gridco is not directly involved in fuel purchase, we are able to project some budgetary requirements. And we project that up to $105.49 million will be required to buy fuel for this scenario. So we also try to look at currently what stocks of liquid fuel we have at the plant. So as at this morning, Sem Power has got 260,468 barrels of light crude oil. Sorry, and this is projected if we are using 2 units like they have been running, and running 2 units continuously. The current stock will last for 23 days with the 2 units running. Sunon Asogle has been running on DFO, but somewhere last week they ran short of the stocks of DFO. VRS KTPP also has 1,275 meter cube of DFO, and that quantity, if we run continuous, will last for 1.5 days. That's 1.5 days with 1 unit running. AXA also can do 406 hours for 7 units running with the 440 meter cube that they have. So the other point that we wanted to note here is that currently Sem Power does peaking on the liquid fuels every peak. And so we recommend that even though we have these volumes which can take up more than half of the period of the peaking, we recommend that we buy the full volumes required, because before the pigging we're required to use this liquid, and we project that beyond the pigging we'll continue to need them running on liquid, and so we recommend for the purchase of all the volumes of LCO. So the last scenario we considered is the scenario of a 1 month delay in, assuming sometimes during such maintenance you open up and then you discover certain things which you didn't foresee, and so it can make the maintenance take longer than you projected. And so we assumed that the maintenance could delay by over a month. And if it delays by over a month, first of all, in the scenario 1, we projected deficits of 1,100. But in this scenario, because it takes us into March, and system demand is higher in March, when the Harmattan has ended and then the heat comes, demand goes higher. So the deficits will be up to about 1,240. So if we want to avoid that, then we'll need to run the plants on liquid fuels as we did in the scenario 2. The additional information here is that because of the increased demand in March, when we get to March, we need to add the second combined cycle at Asogli. In scenario 2, we were running only 1 combined cycle at Asogli, but in this scenario, we are doing 2 combined cycles in Asogli. And so if we are able to have that, then the table shows that we are able to do away with any deficits over the period. And the liquid fuel requirements go up in this case. This column is actually the additional for the 1 month addition. And then this last column is totaling what is required for the actual planned period and then the extended period. And then we did the budgetary projections, and it comes up to $238.93 million for the period. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
The cost goes to 238 million. 238 million
yes.
dollars. Yeah. So scenario 3.
Some significant fuel stock. And as you can see from the table, where at Asogli we have 0 fuel.
I need a guy to help me.
Hello. And that's what.
Oh, okay.
Sem Power, 23 days of fuel stock. KTPP, 1.5 days of fuel stock. AXA, 6 hours of fuel stock. So that is what. So Chief, as you can see from what Grid Cost presented, Sem Power has 23 days of fuel stock. Senon Asogle, today as we chair this meeting, has 0 fuel stock. KTPP has 1.5 days of fuel stock. AXA has 6 hours of fuel stock. That is where we are. So touch wood, assuming today you don't have gas, it means that we automatically run into load shedding. But more importantly, if the pigging exercise goes according to schedule, it means that we have an issue on hand. And so that is the situation on hand. This exercise was supposed to have been taking place in October 2024. Government then requested that it should be shifted to 20th January 2025 to enable them to procure adequate fuel. At our last meeting of the Joint Transition Committee, it came to light that that fuel has not been procured. I personally raised that, and the then Minister of Energy assured that they are putting a requisition to Ministry of Finance. The Minister of Finance then assured that he will fast-track the process and get at least that parcel of light crude oil for us. Yesterday, just when we were assuming office, we checked from Greco, and it turned out that that order had not been placed, that fuel has not been procured, and that is the problem we are faced with. SENPower, with your permission, indicates that they need some number of days to treat the light crude oil, even when it arrives. So, Chief, with your permission, if SENPower can just use 1 minute to tell Chief of Staff the number of days you require to treat the light crude oil, even when we bring emergency cargo, so that we are aware of what happens. Thank you. So if you have the fuel in tank, in 2 weeks, you estimate that the fuel will be ready for usage?
It should be ready, yes.
Okay, thank you. And then WAPCO. Is WAPCO here? Please, if you can defer.
Yes.
So our yes, sir. Yes, sir. Our operational teams have been working diligently with our vendors. Right now, we are still working to get commitment, but there is a possibility of a slight deferral. It won't be the full month, but we're looking at up to potentially 2 weeks deferral in the start of the operation.
Okay, so are you trying to say that we can defer it from January 20th to say February?
I believe it would be 3rd February.
3rd February.
We need a firm.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
We're continuing to work with our vendors today to see if we can make those commitments firm. But that is our target right now, is to look for as much possible deferral.
Will it be possible? Abusiafo meeting na ekoso enedei ena yamamu hu said ye ekoye no way eyenhwamudi a aspects on energy ya ewo NDC amanyoko mu ya headed by Orura John Jinapo ena wonomu ISI meeting ye wie no chairperson for the meeting nipa wo lady government business say Orura Julius Debra ya we chief of staff who say what wonomu a wo kasa na wo tie na wo cheche mu asem ni nyina ne so Orura John Jinapo say ane baby a Ghana yedro no aban no ebesin koye no abon abro wanto gas ene fuel ne crude oil say yenya e power energy no eno nam so bema Ghana akodum so mu eno nti wafre energy players ni nyina say wobi amra na obi a emechete bia ya Ghana yewomu eno ena na wode ehunsem tutudwa amankrofo ahunu say beye na Ghana fo bete ase ne ehu situation a yewom eno ho ena yenso ye de adwenkyira ba say baabi a Ghana yeduro no aban yi wontumi anyi yi nsem ano emeye ane aban na ekoye na de aba aban na ekoye na de aba sesi ya idi obanse nkrofo be ma honeymoon kakra by wo se aban we o fa ne serious pa na bia wo be ye se Dumsor Ghana no wonhwe na wonye ye no oyire no so be blame aban na abesen kono a obedi ne dokono kwa Ghana fo de bibia anso Ghana fo ye enu nti aban we enhwe so be make sure say ade bi o so ye bia Dumsor Emma ewo Ghana no wonhwe se wobetumi aye eno ho nsem ena yekotie ye no na sesi ye a mene wo kasa yi no ye kasa ye ko ensem fufuro mu a asem a eda epono so sesi ye yi ni sesi ye de yate ene se Ghana Education Service asha se de krata emma awofo no bi se wo ba ko school a fanaduane ka ne ho I said one can serious and found sisi but the year tete say Ghana Education Service any Ministry of Education na air base say ni aban yi a aba konyafo froso say no I shall say ma signal say anhwe yi a ekombeba schools ahodo no mu enhihye yi a wo say aban yi aba besen kono na nke wo say woye say be na nkwala no ko school a obetumi amon aduani adie na free SHS betumi ato aso yi no I say sika bi akamu kakra eno nti no say no mpanimfo ahyase e de to awofo anim say oba school afa na duane ka ne ho bra yenim say aban aba besen kɔ no na enkwala no kɔ school a ye man kwala na duane edi free na eka free SHS no enema na ewo free SHS no tuition free edidie free enayem free bibia free apart from chobos ni niema wodi be free aba in fact examination fee free enkrofo bi kire se da bi Ghana baby a ye wo sesi ye no ye ni anwode e betumi e de aye saade no ye won krofo a ye awofo a betumi etu esa sika no adenti e na wo se ye makwan e ma sa ekai ebe chichire aban koko na fe aban tumi nye na aban ho kire no ne ade no nti e wo se aban hwe na aban tumi ye hu bibi na woni e betumi etu ya no ana ye hwe parent no ye hwe na ho ode ni ehu sede na ho ode nti a ene e be ma sa parent no se free SHS no be enjoy bi ana so ntumi enjoy bi na obehe sikafo man nyina no mo ko school achimota any top schools corporate sekini ade a won mu entry sika bia a ebo oman no eka aban ya ba konwa so sese yi eka ho nsem Emma His Excellency John Dramani Mahama campaign kra no kire se wo sa 3 billion hwan no a any self spending nyina on free SHS esan se oman no wo other commitment enunti sesi ye a won mo ba aban mu a free enura de bedi sabre yi a signals asha se ekọ de ma parents or parent a adidie mu de wo ba fa obaduane ehye ne ho na fabra no amankrofo asha se ebisa question say ane free SHS no ehon nsem ahyase ana ehon ahyase etechima enkrofo ahyase ebisa nsem se free SHS no ena ekeka ko eno any messages a say ya hyase a ye receiving ye behwe ye final story a ye de ebrewo ene nanso Jethro Peter ascending ye message was say useless MPP want to sabotage Mahama but it won't work in Jesus name ono nso na dwenkyere no say petrol no a any crude na ye che say yasa magana akodum so mu no wosusu say aban na abesen ko no ene wo share da eye bibi say be ye no be sabotage John Dramani Mahama na wo say eba no sa enye yie ene odi Yesu di mu kan ho we so ebo Yankson enso send a message or say what a one show but Mia would have solved this in a second. JDM is just not smart. JDM is not just smart enough. Say goat tortoise white one also would be akaho enti ne dia no de enya de se metumi akenkan wo ho ede amao Nana Poku enso assendi a message or say what a joke of an excuse. This is just a sideshow for the cameras. Wononso na dwenkyere no say we show keke na wo ye for the cameras. Ye de tumi ama wo enti koto energy no na makania no enyina so na Nana Poku or say unfortunately some Ghanaians will fall for this crap. Wononso na dwenkyere ya wode eba ye no ye be sorry so nanso amanebo ya yense ka the free parliament say and say parliament asha say set up parliamentary committees ahodo no na we a business committee. This is the list for business committee. Yeah, parliament asati ene a one mo ebedi juma ede ama omeyi this 9th parliament e was say you know Orua Kessel Atoman Forcing NA chairman Edema business committee as expected. Nipa we majority leader no and as a position you call the mano and honorable Emmanuel Ama Kofibua. Ena woye vice chairman ede Emma business committee ya ewo omeyi Emra Shebeje Fimu honorable Kwame Agboja eka ho honorable Ahmed Ibrahim ka ho Dr. Zinato Rollins eka ho Mohammed Adamu Ramadan eka ho honorable Hamza Adam ka ho Fred Kwesi Agbenyo eka ho honorable Kofi Bentel Afo ka ho honorable Alexander Fenyo Markin eka ho honorable Frank Anodompre ranking honorable Alexander Fenyo Markin and a ranking member and a deputy ranking no honorable Frank Anodompre MPP for our committee no subio honorable Educhum ena Honorable Mavis Nkansa, ena fe Honorable Samia Wuku, ena waka Business Committee of Parliament eho enti de aba Parliament on Business Committee no na yehwe Appointment Committee. This is a very, very important committee in Parliament. Honorable Bernard Ahiafo, we first first Deputy Speaker of Parliament in Wono and Chairman Edema Committee. Honorable Imano Amma Kofibua, Vice Chairman. Honorable Kwame Agboja, member. Honorable Mahama Yarega, member. Honorable Agnes Momolate, member. Honorable Shaibu Mahama, member. Honorable Alasan Omar, member. NFA. Honorable Alexander Afenyo Markin, ranking member. Honorable Patrick PJ, Patricia PJ, deputy ranking. And Honorable Frank Anodompre, member. And Honorable Patrick Yabuama, member. Wow, wouldn't say ranking appointment committee. This committee and Omampeni John Dramani Mahama ministers obey you won any Supreme Court judges nimpeni for obey you won was wako Parliament Emma one more ye doso won na ye bisa questions no sankrofoi ena ebeye sa adwuma no ena yemu ahu na previous administration no enkrofo na woma committee no so eye de ye pa Honorable Okujato Ablakwa, Honorable Okujato Ablakwa say na oma committee no so the Honorable Samson and so na wo sa committee so na wono nso wo boa ye pa ebisa questions wo sa committee no so any say we free sui anti say sa committee no these are the new members one more ebe wo committee no so yenhwe final committee we na yenhwe enkrofo ebe wo sa committee yi so committee selection and so committee of selection and so right honorable speaker nankasa and etesuo and afi honorable case atofo senior member honorable Kwame Agboja member honorable Comfort Dokujo member and afi honorable honorable Oklete Telabi and so a member honorable Isaac Shai Odampton member of parliament Tema Central Debbie Tema Newtown Hena Tema Newtown Hona or member of parliament say Mirefi Honorable Imano Kwajo Ajekum member of parliament Nkranza South Wononso Eka Honorable Clement Apak PhD Enso Kaho Honorable William Ayo Entre enso ka ho Honorable Grace Ayensu Dankwa wo committee no so Honorable Rahel Owusu aka ho and afi Honorable Richard Kurbiri enso ka ho Honorable Jane Mary Formadi eka ho Honorable Patricia PJ eka ho Honorable Frank Ano Dompre ka ho and afi Honorable Habib Idris eka ho Honorable Mustafa Yusuf eka ho ena Orua Kwaku Asante Boaten enso eka sa committee ho wemo ena ye committee members wono bewo this special committee of selection so won ena mede wondin ama wono ye sorry jumade no so no mamfa last batch of comments abano emfa emma we sinidin de Andrews Safo or say the pigeon was scheduled for October. Okay, say that then Piggin was scheduled for October. Okay, or Sinanke was set no October and it's a 1 year Ediababedu Sabri, but was asked to defer it to January. Why was this the case? One also the position was October to Aden ena Ekoba sa Andrew Safo. Thank you for your comments. Ebusuya ena yede ene sounds from afar dwumedie no yede besie achire de ebesia bebia no yebeba onchen yebo nkomo e de free Ghana na fe yemu ahunu nsem a ekoso ewo Ghana sounds from afar a program ewo Canada British Columbia yema mu ahunu nsem a ekoso ewo Ghanaian community a ewo abroche North America US and Canada hanom so na yema mu ahunu de ekoso enso ewo yemai Ghana mu sorry na Andrew Safugu so send a message or say was this not to push the shutdown to January in order to boost Baumier's chances in the election? Let's be fair. in analysis wono nso nasemu a wode ba ye no abusua ya crowd da foforo ye besan edi ehia edi ameje so ne kwaku parade wuro nyame ya domo da foforo ye behia nanso ba bi obi ada ye bia no ye nyina ye nkai se ade a kyen ye nyina
matrasisio uda bronsansio uda tademo uda benchisio usi abonsan ye nyina ade a kyen no